Still got the letters.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, huh? Yeah, we might try to ratchet it.
You got
It's heavy.
straps.
Yeah.
Open it up.
And it's gonna swing, but that probably work out pretty good.
Oh, you're still hooked up. So
Am I? Hey, yeah, that works. There it is.
hold it up.
Pretty wiring. Perfect. That'd be a good front to a desk.
Yes, it would. Or you could paint that like a windshield on it. Something.
That'd be something.
Somebody try it.
All right, it's out. So I think what I'm gonna do is obviously get the floor pulled out away from it and start cleaning up the edges where it mounts to the floor. I know I'm gonna have to rebuild some of it. I mean, that's not in terrible shape, but this side's kind of crunchy. So I'm gonna need to rebuild a little bit of that. But I'll get the floor pulled out away from it, and then cut this quarter panel off, kind of like how this one is. I'm gonna leave this upper rail and then start cleaning up the wheelhouses. And then I'm gonna get some rear braces back in. So while it's pulled out, I think it's a good idea to put the braces in. That way, when I go to set it in there, that'll give me a spot to align it up to on the frame of this car. And then on this car, before we start doing any swapping, I'm obviously gonna cut out all this, take the trunk off of it, cut out all this, all the way to here, and then replace the floor in it. That way it's got a new floor in it, and we're mounting the tub to the new floor. The trunk floor isn't terrible in this car, it's just the floor pans are pretty rough. Especially once I get the carpet out of here, you'll see that. So we'll put a new floor in this one, new rear braces, wheelhouse stuff, some mounts, some repair, a little bit more rust repair, and then we're gonna repair the rust. After the rust is fixed, we're gonna repair some more rust, and then we'll fix all the rust. That's a lot of rust. So this is just from shaking it up a little bit, cutting it up. So I'm gonna jar this stuff up. So if you want your jar of 64 convertible dust, hit me up. It's good luck. With every jar of 64 convertible dust, you get some of the convertible top, some of the body. Now I can't guarantee what part of the body that is, but it's some of the body, and maybe a nut or a bolt or two. So if you want your jar of 64 dust, let me know. So as I'm over here just slicing away at this beautiful car, I knew that there is a reinforcement down the rocker. This is a section of the rocker that I just cut off. I knew that there was a reinforcement. And as you can see, I mean, they spot welded it, but their spot weld machine doesn't put off too pretty welds. I mean, look at that. That's just a big chunk of slag hanging off of that weld. And that's visible. I mean, as your car is driving down the road, that's visible. But, so, got me thinking, that piece down there, pretty thick metal. I'd say it's probably 1/8 inch at least. 1/8 inch plate. What are you guys doing, the guys who are actually converting these? What are you guys doing for that piece? I mean, I'm sure you could put, you know, whatever you wanted to down there to beef it up. But I'd like something that looks similar to that if possible. I don't know if anybody can shape those or if there's a simple way to make those that I'm not thinking about. I mean, you could use a piece of angle iron and flare out the edges like that, but it wouldn't look, you know, exactly like this. Yeah, maybe you just got to make your own stamp. Piece of round tubing, a couple different sizes. You know, one size to make the inner, one size to make the outer. Press that in there. Or if there's a company that sells sections of that, I don't know. So that's one thing I was thinking about. Because man, that was actually, I figured I'd buzz right through that, but that was actually kind of tough to cut. Like it melted my Sawzall blade. And I'm not using the cheap blades. I mean, I'm using a decent blade, and it melted the teeth off of it. So yeah, that's your jar of 6FO vert dust. PayPal ready, people. So yeah, I'm gonna get this thing cut up. Hopefully tonight, get this thing cut up the rest of the way. I'm not gonna toss anything because it's kind of nice to see where the convertible mounts are. There's a set of mounts there, and there's another set right underneath of the floor brace. You can see right there. So those are the extra mounts. Honestly, I don't know why they're extra just on these. They should be standard. I mean, because on a normal car, not a normal car, but a hardtop, 4-door, this goes for a 4-door, anything other than a convertible. You got a body mount there. Hear me out. Nothing, 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 nothing. Until right there. That's your next body mount. I mean, let's walk it out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7-ish size 12s. I mean, that's a distance to have. But then you got, it's weird. You got one there, and you got one right here, and you got one right there. And then up here, you know, you got your firewall mounts right there, and then you got one right up here. So I don't know why they decided. And then another thing that's kind of crazy, if you're not too up on the X-frames, granted the seat's a little floppy here, but that's where you sit. You sit just out in the air. The only thing stopping you, the only real structural part stopping you from just getting blasted in a side impact is your door, obviously, which, I mean, isn't the thickest piece of metal. Your door and your rocker. That structure. Other than that, there's nothing stopping you from just taking another vehicle right to the face. And you're just, I mean, yeah, there's no frame rail. So I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that was part of the reason why Chevy decided to stop using this, because you got to think, even up here, your body mount's here, your body is still out to here. I mean, you see that body mount? You still got a lot of body with your fender and door and everything on there, hanging out with nothing. No protection. So, it's kind of a crap design, GM. I think we need to talk about it. A little late now, but yep, I'm gonna cut this thing up. I'm probably gonna cut it back here and then right there, and then save this section, the whole firewall, dash, and everything for now until I need it. Save all that, and then I'm gonna keep the back section, like I said, because I like to see where those mounts go. I'll just keep the whole back section rollable, and then I'll just leave the rear end and everything in it. And the rear end's no good. I mean, if you're really desperate, it might be, but it's got a rust hole in the pumpkin, which is kind of disappointing. So there's really not a whole lot of usable stuff back here. I mean, banana bars really aren't worth reusing. You can get the tubular ones, unless you're going for an original build, but you can get the tubular ones pretty reasonable. Same with the trailing arms. You can get the box tubing ones for like 200 bucks. So not a whole lot of useful stuff back here, but I'll hang on to it. Could you just imagine? I mean, king ding-a-ling back in 1964. Cruising home in this thing, man. Could you just imagine? It's a whole lot of foes. And this is only half of them. I got more to bring in. I got an SS, it's a customer car I'm parking over here. I got a Biscayne, that's a customer car I'm parking over here. I got my SS that I'm parking over here. So I got 3 more, 6 foes. Oh yeah, 4 more. Forgot one, the Arkansas one. It's just a sport coupe, but so foes coming here. Got the bushes out.